Hello and welcome to the Red and Blue Sessions, the podcast where football passion meets fierce rivalry. I'm Corey, your resident Liverpool fan, basking in the glory of our team's dominance. Well, most of the time.
And I'm Liam, the proud, long-suffering Everton fan, here to bring some balance to Corey's eternal optimism.
Together, we'll dive into the latest football news, transfer gossip, and all the drama that makes the beautiful game so addictive. From Merseyside debates to the biggest stories across the leagues, expect banter, bold opinions, and plenty of laughs along the way.
Whether you're red, a blue, or just love football, this is the podcast for you.
But before we dive headfirst into this week's debates, you can get involved in the Red and Blue Sessions too.
That's right. Whether you want to share your thoughts on whatever nonsense Corey's sprouting this week, or even suggest a topic for us to argue about, discuss, we want to hear from you.
You can send your emails to theredandbluesessions@gmail.com or slide into our DMs on social media.
Right, let's get into it.
So I think for the first topic, we should discuss Marshy. I mean, it literally happened yesterday, because we're recording this on the Thursday. Liverpool versus Everton, the last Merseyside derby at Goodison before they moved to their new stadium. And I mean, great game. I mean, fans were up for it, singing most of the game. That was mainly Everton fans. Our fans didn't come alive until we actually scored the 2 goals. And, well, let's be honest. I mean, the first thing we need to discuss is Everton's first goal. I mean, in no way is Ndiaye getting fouled. The guy thinks he's in Swan Lake. It just jumps up in the air. Maka doesn't even touch him.
No, I agree. It isn't a foul, but it's a tough one, that, because I can see where Ndiaye's coming from, because he doesn't want to be involved in the follow-through. So I think he's trying to jump over what he thinks that's going to be a tackle. I don't think it's a foul, by all means. I don't think it was. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And you've got to go. If the referee's made the decision, you've got to go with it. And I've always been a very advocate for that. At the end of the day, the referee controls the game, not the fans, not the players. You always play to the whistle. You know, if the whistle blows, then you've got to adhere to it. You know, all credit to Beto. That finish was sublime. Like, he's took that ball really well, and he's controlled it and slotted it in.
Yeah, that was actually good work from you, to be honest. And I knew it was coming when I saw that, like, Bramford was the only one over that cut free kick. I knew it was coming, and when I saw Beto make that run, I was like, oh, here we go. And then, yeah, obviously you scored.
You saw the bend, and you saw Beto instantly knew, like, it was his. It looked like, to me, a training ground routine that we've been doing all week. He bent his run absolutely perfectly to run onto that ball at pace, which by the way took Van Dijk by surprise. So I don't think he expected Beto to get to it. And also, by watching the full match, that contest between Van Dijk and Beto was absolutely fantastic to watch. Like, they're both battling, the pair of them, and I think Van Dijk, as much as a brilliant defender as he is, I don't think he expected Beto to be up for it, if that makes sense. Like, I felt like he thought, I can just shrug Beto here and there, and he won't get a sniff. But the fact that Beto's come to the match with that bit more of a passion and excitement, and he's wanted to prove something a bit more as well. So, you know, at the end of the day, Beto's warranting a starting place at the minute, because we haven't got Calvert-Lewin, because he's injured at the minute. So he's thinking to himself, what can I do to warrant more of a starting place and scoring in a derby, which he did.
Yeah. I mean, great goal. And then obviously Ndiaye had to go off injured. I think I heard the commentators for TNT Sports when he was going off that it was his MCL, and you could tell he was in some real pain. Like, when he stood up again and tried to walk off, he literally went back down and started crying, so you could tell he was in pain.
I don't think it's his MCL, because if it's your MCL, you physically can't move, and you've got to get pulled off on a stretcher. To me, looking on it, obviously, I think it's when Slozerby pulls him. I'm not saying like he causes the injury, but it's when he gets pulled off balance, doesn't he, by Slozerby, and he kicks. He kicks the floor. So if you look more closely, he kicks the floor, but his ankle twists as he kicks the floor. So to me, he's either broken a little bone in his foot, or he's badly twisted his ankle, which I know myself. By doing my ankle, you have to hobble off. You basically, you can't walk, but you can, but it's very limited range of movement in terms of you can't twist your foot. As soon as you twist your ankle that badly, you can't move it side to side, and it's hard to run on because it just feels like you're flat-footed all the time if you run on it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's just his ankles. But like you said, the commentator said it's his knee. And I was like, well, it can't be his knee if he's kicked the floor. And also, it's a strange one. Like I was gutted when he went off because I thought he could have been the player. He was the player that was impacting against you the most. I thought he was like a little bright spark in a team that was lackluster, like not lackluster, but we turned to him for inspiration. And obviously to have one of those players go off can be quite soul destroying to a team. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously then Jack Harrison came on and did well as well, trying to get past Bradley and stuff, but couldn't. But obviously there's a lot of controversy this game with the referee himself, Michael Oliver. The Premier League call him the best referee in the Premier League.
He's not the best referee at all.
Yeah, I don't think he lived up to that.
As soon as I heard he was refereeing the derby, I knew it was going to be cards galore, and it showed that in terms of. I believe the referee needs to have more of an impact on the game. He needs to control the game. I've always said referee's main job is to look after the welfare and well-being of the players. He didn't do that at all. He let challenges fly in left, right, and centre from both sides. May I add, I'm not being biased towards Everton or Liverpool. Yeah, from both sides, challenges were flying in left, right, and centre. And I know you might say that Gay dived, but I know Gay is he's a hard-working defensive player, and he doesn't go down that easy. But at the end of the day, you yourself were lucky to have Bradley on the pitch, because in my eyes, I think he should have been sent off. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased. I'm saying that as a coach, as I used to coach football as well. If it's a first yellow, that's fine. But if you do it time and time again, it should be a second yellow. And he was a very lucky boy to stay on that pitch last night. And if we're analysing the game even further, I don't think it was very entertaining to watch. Don't get me wrong, it was end to end. But Liverpool, to me, when weren't hitting their top gears, were they really, as we've seen all season? They seemed quite static at times. You looked at Salah. Salah didn't do much, did he really, apart from score that goal? If we analyse both your goals, okay, yeah, the first one's a fault by Pickford. He hasn't really secured his goal timely well, has he really? The header from the house, Pickford should be saving that. And the commentator said rightly, every goalkeeper in the world would be diving for that. And I don't know why Pickford didn't, unless he thought it was going a bit wide and he's misjudged that by all means. And I think your second goal was based on a rebound, wasn't it, from Branthwaite, because it blocked off Branthwaite.
Yeah.
So
the Nunes pass to Jones. Jones did excellent, but for that goal, Jones was excellent. The way he just stood there waiting for Nunes to pass it back. And Jones curls it. If Branthwaite's not there, that's going in. But Branthwaite obviously heads it, and then Salah finishes it off.
I don't know when I get that, but that was just a bit of luck on your side. But I was sitting there last night, and you could give me all the outcomes in the world, and I would say a draw would probably be the best result for both teams, really. Because I think if you won it, we wouldn't hear the end of it. And if we won it, you wouldn't hear the end of it from us. So I think the draw was sufficeable. Got to give credit to Tarkowski at that level at the depth of wasn't it the last minute to play, and he just puts his full laces through it. I know you're going to say, well, it wasn't the last minute, but if you look, there was an injury, wasn't there?
Yeah, but to your own players.
Yeah, so either way you look at it, it happened in the last minute, so he's got to add another minute on, hasn't he, for the minute that was being disrupted. So I get that.
That added time was for your new signing, Alcaraz and Branthwaite, for going into each other.
Yeah, But even Alvarez, I think he looked quite of a spark when he came on. He wanted to do something, and it was clear to see. The core, by the way, absolutely incredible. I think that's the best performance I've seen in a blue shirt in a long time from an Everton midfielder in the past couple of years. I mean, I know he got sent off, and I know what he done to the Liverpool fan base wasn't the right thing to do.
Stupid.
But we both watched it on TV. We don't know what was said during the game from the Liverpool fan base, do we really? We don't know what was said from the Everton fan base. So we don't know what's gone on there to make him warrant to go over there and go with the Liverpool fans the way he did. And also Curtis Jones, what an idiot. Like, I get it, it's your own fan base, you're a local lad. If you see the Corey doing that and you're thinking, I'm going to go
Just go over.
I'd pull the cut. If it was me and I was a Liverpool player, I would go about it.
Just pull him.
I wouldn't pull him. I'd just say to him, "Oi, come on, look." I wouldn't even touch him. I go, "Mate, come on, like, what are you doing?" I wouldn't full on grab.
Jones is just like, yeah, just grab him and just start like having a go at him.
Well, he went in. He pushed him from the back, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, and it was quite an ugly. It was an ugly side to see of Jones. But I'm also thinking, if I'm a Liverpool player now, and you've just come off the bench to rejuvenate that midfield, and then the last couple of minutes you've been sent off in when the game's finished. He's not suspended.
The game is finished.
He's not suspended. So he's now used.
Oh, is he not?
He got a red card, didn't he?
Yeah.
So now he's now suspended for use now, which gives an Arnie Slot more of a headache than what was needed.
He's suspended as well.
Yeah, which I was quite surprised and shocked at, but then you don't know what we said to the referee to warrant that red card as well. You know, it's same with Ancelotti a few years back when we played United, and I think I can't remember who was sitting on the floor. I think it was Sigurdsson sitting on the floor, and we've hit it, and Sigurdsson's lifted his legs up, and the referee's disallowed our goal because apparently Sigurdsson sitting down on the floor prevented David De Gea's view of the shot. I don't know how, but Ancelotti goes to Michael Oliver, I think, as well at the time. I think Michael Oliver refereed that game. Ancelotti went over to him, said something to him, and he got red carded. So, but then I think we know that Michael Oliver, it can be quite trigger card happy card, isn't he?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, some of those tackles in that game. I mean, so many shirts being pulled and everything, and like he's just like, and I mean, for like one of them, like Gakpo was being pulled by Gay and literally nothing. Gay was already on the yellow card. Yeah, he's pulling Gakpo's shirt, he's pulling his arm, and the ref's like, nah.
I know, and I get that, but that's when it comes across from both teams. Both teams are doing that though at the end of the day. I noticed it myself, and it irks me because when I used to coach, I used to tell the lads, keep your hands down because that way you can't be penalised. But I see it more in the game now. I saw it at Bournemouth when we played Bournemouth in the FA Cup. Bournemouth were constantly having their hands on the back, pushing the players, and the referee wasn't doing anything about it. But this is where the referees need to control the game from the first whistle. If they start letting stuff like that go, that's when accidents happen.
I mean, Van Dijk said it in his post-match interview that Michael Oliver didn't have control of that game.
No, he didn't.
And I completely agree with what Van Dijk said, and I also like what Van Dijk said about your fans celebrating a last-minute winner like you've won the FA at the Premier League. You went, this is like a cup final to them.
I wouldn't say it was a cup final. I think it was more of a statement. The reason why the Everton fan base celebrated the way they did, because let's be honest, we didn't want to get beat by you didn't want to get beat by us, so I get it, the emotion was high, and to have that moment when you score that equaliser, it's very euphoric, and I get it, it was overwhelming from the Everton fans' point of view, but I get it. I've been there myself when I've been watching them play, and whether that be in the local pub watching it or going the game yourself, you get sucked into that environment, that state of mind for that period of time because you sat there constantly watching the match. And if as every Everton fan did in that stadium, you watch the clock slowly tick down, and you think, God, I myself, I was not thinking we were going to win that last night when it got to the 80th minute, 85th. 87th, I was thinking, oh God, we're not going to get something out of this. Because we kept,
Yeah, you start to think that.
and for us to score that decided equaliser, I celebrated like mad because because you're so, what's the word? You're so glued to the TV, you're so glued into the action, you sort of forget where you are. So, and I'm not being funny, you would have done the same if it was the roles were reversed and if it was at Anfield.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have done a pitch invasion.
Oh no, I don't think we should have done that. That was stupid. But then that's the minority of the same fan base that do that though.
Yeah, but you think with that pitch invasion, with the VAR to look at that goal, there should be more time added on. Oh no, Michael Oliver just blows the whistle.
Yeah. No, I reckon there should have been another 2 more minutes, I think, but we're going into silly minutes there, aren't we? We're doing that, but I don't see how. I knew from the first, during the first call for offside, I knew I knew instantly he was on
Yeah,
because they were saying, oh, he's got 2 angles where he's onside and he's offside. But I'm like going, but on the VAR, they're looking at the one picture that proves he's onside. Van Dijk playing him on.
yeah, and that was playing him on side.
And I sat there and I was like, Van Dijk's playing him on. That's the most easiest decision to make.
And then they looked at the foul on Kanai.
See, that's a tough one because both players are pulling each other's shirts, so you can't class that as a foul. If the Everton player overpowered the Liverpool player and the Liverpool player went on his ass or when it fell over, then yeah, that's a foul. But if you're both coming together, that's a coming together. In my eyes, anyway. But you can't just go right. It's up, the goal's onside, and then go, oh, by the way, we're going to look at the foul now towards the build up. You know, you've just given that as a goal. Why do you have to look at the foul now? If you looked at the foul first, then the offside position, I get that, but not the offside position first, then the foul, because then that contradicts everything, and that also puts the Everton fans in limbo then, because we were like, do we celebrate now because we've scored that goal? Oh no, we've got to wait now because there might be a foul in the build up. You're like, oh, for God's sake. I think there needs to be a bit more clarity in terms of VAR, and Michael Oliver should have went on the mic and said, look, we get it, the goal, Tarkowski was onside, but now we're looking at an obstruction in the build-up.
Yeah.
A possible obstruction in the build-up. And then every Everton fan, every football fan in that stadium would have went, do you know what? Fair play. He's explained why there's been such a long delay in rewarding the goal. But the fact that the fans get kept left in limbo is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're doing that in the Carabao Cup now. They trialled it in the semi-finals where like the referee does the announcement after the VAR check.
And I also think, which I don't know whether this might get done, but I think they should be mic'd up more like the referees in rugby.
Oh yeah, so we can hear them.
Yeah, so like, you know when like the referees go, say in rugby, say number 10 and number 6, get here now. Right, whatever now. Or say both captains from both teams come here now, and you both talk and say, right, I'm not liking what I'm seeing from the matches. You go talk to your men, you go talk to the men. We'll sort it out that way. I love that because that's like nipping that bit of action.
Yeah, in the bud.
Like that would have been, you know, that whole thing could have been separated last night if Michael Oliver went, Tarkowski, get here, Van Dijk, get here. Right, none of this shit pulls arms or whatever. That stops now. Then yeah, I think the game would have been a lot better that way. But whether they do that is a different story, because I don't think they will, because they don't want to hear what the referee's got to say. Should we move on?
Yeah. We're going to move on to the past weekend games, talk about Liverpool and Everton's 2 losses in the FA Cup. First, we'll talk about where Liverpool's won. I mean, it's one of those games where you look and think, Plymouth were the better side. I mean, let's be honest, we had 75% of that ball, 4 shots on target. Doesn't say a lot, really. And I think from a point of view from Slot, didn't learn from PSV. Youth team out again.
No, he certainly didn't, and I'm not being funny, FA Cup is one of the cups that I think is the most prestigious cup that every team wants to win. Was that a handball? Most definitely a handball. What is Harvey Elliott doing there? I
Oh
know, I
yeah,
know. You've got to jump up. You've got to use your arms to jump up, but not in that position where your hands are above your head. And I think he kicks, doesn't he, as well as he goes to do it, like he's blocking something, knowing full well if the player kicks that hits his hand, it's a handball every day of the week. But all credit's got to. Yeah, it's a massive blow for Liverpool to get knocked out the cup, but all credit from the Argyle. They've had a massive turnaround in management in terms of they sacked Wayne Rooney, didn't they?
yeah,
They've got that new manager in, and obviously he must be doing something well on the training ground to knock Hughes, and they knocked Southampton out, didn't they? As well. So the I do love a story of an underdog, whether it was against Hughes or not. I love the underdog feeling. They play City next. I'd love for them to knock City out. Not gonna lie, because that would be quite funny. But yeah, Slot youth team rest. What was it? 7 of your starting 11.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. He should have started. I'm not saying like he shouldn't have rested players and he shouldn't have started the strong 11, but well, I don't know, obviously the derby was a lot more important than the FA Cup game. That's no doubt about that. But if you want to win the cup, you need to start your best team. No doubt about that.
Exactly. Yeah,
And we'll, we'll link that into the Everton game. It was a 2-0 win to Bournemouth. Yeah. Penalty decision, rightly so, but I think Tarkowski he had one. I think that's one of the worst games I've seen him play. In terms of he could not control that defensive line at all. Him and Branthwaite they looked like they hadn't played with each other in terms of communications. I personally blame Tarkowski for the first goal. Like you don't slide in the penalty box like that. Even if you've made a mistake, you stand the player up or you ask for help. That is it. I blame Pickford for the second goal, and you're going to go, Pickford, why? If you look at the match, Lindstrom is holding the right hand side by the throwing line. He's got no one around him. Pickford's now got the ball. You've got 4 Bournemouth players in front of Everton's back line at this point. What does he do? He passes it to Branthwaite. Branthwaite passes it to Tarkowski. Tarkowski's now getting closed down by one of the Bournemouth players, so which has now made him panic. Then he's thought, I'm gonna have to lump this long. As he's went to lump it long, it then took a deflection onto another Bournemouth player. The Bournemouth players ran into the box. Pickford's dived, missed it. They've blocked it, and then it's just sprawled into the goal. So it's I think Pickford's error of judgment on that same was awful because he should have looked realistically. He should have looked up and looked for the space, and he didn't. Well, I don't know what's your take on it.
I mean, to be honest, the penalty is definitely a penalty. I've looked at many angles at that and Tarkowski doesn't get any ball to clear pen. I mean, it's it's a great pen as well by Cliver. Literally
It
walk away,
wasn't Clive.
turn, and then
It wasn't by Clive.
wait, who
It
was it?
was Semenyo.
Uh, Semenyo. It was great to see him just like walk away and just quickly turn and smash it in. It's quite cheeky from him,
Yeah,
and
it doesn't. He doesn't give Pickford any
like
information.
chance to save it.
Yeah, it doesn't give him any information of where he's going to hit this.
And I mean, for you, I mean, Beto, like, I don't know what goes on with Beto. Like, he barely did anything that game against Bournemouth, but then turns up against us. Like,
I think it's because I don't know what's going on. I'm not discrediting Moyes. I think he's doing a superb job at the minute. That's what 2 wins. I mean, first 5 games he's won 3. First 4 games he's won 3, lost 1, didn't he? So we went on a 3-game winning bounce. Then we get beat by Bournemouth. So now you're looking for, okay, 5 games, 2 losses, 3 wins. Okay. And then a draw to use. I think he's doing a fantastic job, don't get me wrong. But we saw the times against Bournemouth, if we kept it on the floor, happy days. We worked it better. Against Hughes, we worked it better when we were on the floor. It's when we started lumping it forward, that's when we got the issue. Because people weren't winning the ball. Like Beto, I know Beto's like about 6'4" or 6'2". He should be winning balls every day of the week because he's a centre forward. But they weren't
But
working.
he's got, yeah,
At what
he's got no support. Like,
exactly? So at what point do you, as the player or the players, think sack this lumping the ball forward? Let's keep it on the floor. Let's play our nice little niche bit of football that we've been playing because it's been working. Because last night you saw it when we played a bit of a niche bit of football. You just did not know how to cope with it. But once we lumped it forward, you just sort of went, your whole team went, you're lumping that forward. Happy days. We can just clear this, defend it all day long.
yeah, and I mean, for you, you haven't beaten Bournemouth since 2023.
All right, rub
And
it
it
in.
just goes, yeah, I am going to rub it in. It just goes to show that you can't perform against Bournemouth.
And I know it's a mad one. They're like our bogey team at the minute. We can't seem to shake them. But
Well, I mean, it says a lot when Bournemouth's coach is winning manager of the month, so.
so you cut out then.
Oh, says a lot when Bournemouth's manager is winning player of the month.
Manager of the month wasn't a player of the month.
Yeah. Manager of the month.
Oh no, like I think he's doing an incredible job at Bournemouth. That manager. He seems to have a very good core group of players who all want to play for him, which is quite nice to see. And it's proven, like this year, and I think the past 2 years in the Premier League, it's been like it was in the early years of the Premier League, where there's been every team wants to compete. Like, for like the past 10 years, you knew who was going to get relegated from the off. You knew, the teams that come up most, sort of, they're going to go straight back down, didn't you? But every team that wants to come up now, they're all fighting for that little bit of they're fighting, aren't they? They're competing.
Yeah.
So like now, but you see it with City. I think City, and I think you will find it a bit hard now as well in the next couple of years because every team wants to compete now. The likes of City, they're struggling at this season because every team wants to compete against them now. Whereas the other way around, I think most teams went to like the likes of City, likes of Arsenal, just went, oh God, we're going to get battered today. Now teams are going, hang on a minute, we could nick something today. We need to compete today to get some points. And I don't believe in statistics. I don't believe in how many shots are on target. I don't believe how many passes or possession. I think it was said rightly. I think it was by Bill Shankly as well, one of your managers, and I think by Howard Kendall as well, because they didn't believe in statistics. They said a game of football is 50-50. It's a 50-50 chance. You either win it or you lose it, or sometimes in some cases you draw it.
Yeah.
So I think that's now teams are now starting to believe in that 50-50 chance, where 50-50 chance we could win, 50-50 chance we could draw, or a 50-50 chance we could lose. You know what I mean? So I think it is nice to see the league starting to get a bit more competitive now, which I for one love it, because I do think the Premier League is the best league in the world.
Yeah, it just makes for more interesting games as well.
100%.
Okay, it's time for a quick break now. Liam and I will be back in just a minute. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Champions League playoff, the big game, Man City versus Real Madrid, finished 3-2 to Real Madrid. I mean, it's a great game for football. I mean, it was going to be a great game when the draw was made, that these two would face each other straight away. And in the end, one of these two big teams has to go out.
100%. It was like two big heavyweights just slugging at each other, wasn't it, the other night? Obviously, City came in firing, which, you expect that from City, because everyone's written them off this season, haven't they, really, in terms of their performances in matches. If they want something to prove, they need to beat Madrid to make a statement, and they were on course to do that. Unfortunately, Madrid have got firepower of Mbappe, Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vinicius. They've got talent. Real Madrid, so you can't sleep on Madrid because you'll just get punished. For them to go and nick it right at the depth again, it just showcases Real Madrid's talent and their, what's the word now I'm gonna say, experienced. They're much more of an experienced side. Madrid, they know how to win matches. They know how to win matches on the big European stage, which they showed the other night.
Yeah, I mean, the XG goes to show where City 1.6 and Madrid 3.3. Defo shows that the game was close, many goals could have been scored, but City is showing their weakness a lot now, and it's Rodri. Without Rodri, they seem to not be able to form anything. Like I was saying myself yesterday, that like Rodri's like a spider, and the legs of the spider are like all the City players.
Yeah. Like we discussed last week, or whenever we talked about the Rodri injury, he sits holding that back line, doesn't he? He sits just in front of that back four or back three, whatever, and he's like super glue. Everything goes off him, and you can't get rid of him. And you take him out the equation, which has happened now. Everything starts to crumble because no one wants to do that position that he's done so effortlessly well since he joined Man City.
Yeah, and I mean, it's quite funny. I saw something on Instagram when Vinny was walking into the ground. That they said the caption said, "This is what Vinicius was greeted with at City," and it's a picture on the wall of Roger with his Ballon d'Or, and it was quite funny seeing that because it was like, "Oh, haha, City, look at me, we've won the Ballon d'Or with Rodri. You couldn't win the Ballon d'Or, Vinny." But I reckon if Vinny has a good season, he'll win the Ballon d'Or. I think.
Yeah, and to be fair, that was quite funny. But Vinicius handled it in the most satisfying way. And when they won, I don't know if you've seen it. He kissed his couple of fingers and just pointed to the City fans and tapped the Champions League badge and went 4 times. So it was like, I've won the Champions League 4 times. Use only one at once. So the thing, like, so it's a bit like the Vardy incident with Tottenham, and you've got to sit there and go, yeah, Vinicius has won it multiple times. All credit to himself being a master in footballer, but I think he's very hot-headed as well. So I think if City can play into that at the Bernabeu, just get him Vinicius' head a little bit more, make him a little bit angry, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but I think it's true. I think City have won it, the Bernabeu. I think they've been draws or losses. So I think if they could turn up and silence the Madrid crowd, which is quite hard to do at the Bernabeu, they probably do have a chance. I mean, it's only 1 goal, but I don't think away goals count anymore in the Champions League, do they?
No, they don't know. It's basically been on. It's win or
Lose or draw to go to extra time.
If it's a draw on the aggregate score or overall, it goes to extra time pens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They basically got to win or draw that match. If they're confident enough in themselves, which I think City are, they should take them to pens. But if they're not, they should definitely try and get the win at the Bernabeu. Because, like I said, for City, they need to make a statement. And what other statement can they make if they knock Real Madrid out the Champions League?
Yeah. Oh, so that's that point finished. Their big game then for Madrid and City when City go to the Bernabeu. We're now going to talk about the FA Cup draw, which took place last just the Monday gone for the 5th round. We're going to talk about the big games. We've got Bournemouth versus Wolves, Man City versus Plymouth, Man United versus Fulham, Newcastle versus Brighton, and Nottingham Forest versus Ipswich. It's got to the point in the competition where now Premier League teams are getting put against each other.
Yeah, there's a couple of tasty draws apart from the Plymouth, Plymouth being the only exception there. I'd say if Bournemouth versus Wolves, I think that can be a good one, but I think Bournemouth will nick a win there. I think Fulham beat United again. I think they're not really good at the minute. I think they're... Have you heard the news of the United players? So they apparently, I don't know how factually true this is, by the way. Apparently, a couple of players are not happy with Amarim's style of play, and he's asked the manager to tweak the system so the players can actually play in their preferred positions. I'm not being...
No, good for the City manager.
I'm not being funny, right? If it's a manager is the decisive who knows tactics, and is the reason why he's got the job there. In any capacity, in any club, you look at Arne Slot. If Arne Slot's the manager of Liverpool, he controls the tactics, he controls the players, he controls what he wants. The players don't go to Arnold going, do you know what, Gaffer? I don't really like your tactics. I can't be bothered running an extra 20 minutes and then an extra 20 miles. Can we just tweak it so I don't have to run that much? I think Arnold will go to them. There's the door on your way out. Same with Klopp, same with Moyes. You just go, there's the door. For Amorim, his big test is if he does tweak his system, which I don't think he should, because he has shown at times it's worked, and he needs to be true to himself at the end of the day. He done fantastic with Sporting. I know Sporting have fell off in recent weeks in terms of they're losing points in their league and they've dropped points in the Champions League as well. It shows that Amorim's a decent manager if the players just buy into the philosophy and they just need to trust in the process. But anyway, we're going on a tangent. That's for a different debate. That Newcastle versus Brighton, I think 0-0 penalties. Brighton
I
win.
think that's the game. I think that's the game that's going to be the best one out of all these draws. I think that one alone will be the best.
Newcastle versus Brighton?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree with you. And Forest v Ipswich? I can't see Ipswich winning that one.
Yeah.
I think it'll be another high scoring game. I think Forest will get like 5 or 6 against them. Because I think at the minute, I don't know what Ipswich are doing if they're just not performing. I know that in the next round, FA Cup, and every Ipswich fan will go to me, you're in the FA Cup, win you or not? Well, look at you where you are in the league. They're not in form at the minute, and they're going into FA Cup draws. It's a bit silly if you ask me.
Yeah. Okay, it's time for a quick break now. Liam and I will be back in just a minute with the Red and Blue Roasts. Alright, it's that time again. Strap in, because we're about to crank up the rivalry with the Red and Blue Roasts.
This is where we take the gloves off and throw some classic Liverpool versus Everton banter at each other. No holding back, just good old-fashioned football rivalry with a side of laughs.
And we want you to get involved. Got a top-tier roast for Everton? Maybe a brutal dig at Liverpool? Send us your best jokes, one-liners, or savage banter, and we'll read out our favourites on the show.
Email us at theredandbluesessions@gmail.com or slide into our DMs on social media. Whether you're red or a blue, bring your A game because we're ready for it.
Alright then, let's see who's getting roasted today. Red or blue? Let's go.
Hey Corey.
Yes?
Why did the Liverpool fan bring a trophy case to the pub?
Why?
Because they heard it's been collecting dust since 2020.
Very good. Well, how about this that listener Amy sent us? Why don't Everton fans play hide and seek?
I don't know. Why?
Because good luck hiding when you haven't seen silverware in decades.
Nah, very funny. Good joke, Amy.
We're now going to do our Premier League predictions for this weekend. So this is when me and Liam put our predictions head to head, and we'll see who can get the most predictions correct. It's currently 1-1 actually in the series. Liam won the first week. I won the second week. So this is the third week. First game is on the Friday, so tomorrow at the time recording this. It's Brighton versus Chelsea, an FA Cup rematch.
Brighton, they've lost the last 2 games, haven't they?
Yeah.
Because they lost to Austin and then they lost to Bournemouth? No. Anyway, doesn't matter. They lost the last 2 games, innit? I think Brighton win this 1-0. I think it'll be very close, very, very attacking from both sides. But I do think Brighton nick it 1-0.
Yeah, and I mean, Cole Palmer hasn't been on the form that he's used to being on. So, do you know, I'll go 1-0 as well.
To Chelsea or to Brighton?
Brighton.
Okay. We're just not going to talk about how the fact that I got the Liverpool results in the FA Cup, right? The last week? No? Okay.
No.
Big game Saturday in Leicester v Arsenal. Vardy versus, Arsenal. As much I love Leicester to win, and it really annoyed the Arsenal fan base, I think Arsenal win this one 3-0.
Yeah, Arsenal have to keep applying that pressure to Liverpool now. Considering Liverpool is 7 points clear instead of 9, it actually gives Arsenal kind of hope to actually try and keep the pressure on us to keep performing, and we have to win games. Yeah, I don't see Leicester winning. I'm going to go Arsenal 2-0.
Yeah, 100%. If I think Arsenal need to sit in on Liverpool's next games. Well, obviously, spoiler, it is Sunday. Wolves. And away, you play at home to Wolves, and I think the week after you play against Villa. So they're two big games. I'm not saying Wolves is going to be an easy game for you, because they could be at the end of the day. You just don't know what Wolves team is going to turn up. But if you go and draw a draw, if you even draw at Wolves, or you get beat by Wolves and then you draw or get beat by Aston Villa, that's 6 points dropped. If Arsenal win the next two games, they're back in the title race, and then at that point you're only 1 point clear of the title, aren't you?
Yeah.
Realistically, you needed to win last night because that was your game in hand, wasn't it? And you just obviously fumbled it a little bit because, like I said, I didn't feel like you were at the gears that we've seen you be all season. Whether it might be because it was the atmosphere of the derby, who knows? Anyway, yeah, Arsenal 3.
Yeah, Arsenal 2-0 for me. Next game's Aston Villa versus Ipswich. I mean, this is a good game. I reckon Rashford and Asensio get a start in this game.
Yeah, they've got to. The Rashford looked a lovely little bright spark, didn't he, against Tottenham? He seems like a player that United have been missing since Amarin sort of showed him the cold shoulder, so to speak. Yeah. But what a way to rejuvenate your career, then go to Aston Villa, where he's now in Champions League and he can showcase himself in the Champions League again and show what United are missing. They've done it with Lingard, they've done it with now, Scott McTominay. He's flying in the Serie A in terms of Napoli. I think Villa nicking this. Will nick this about 3-0. I see Rashford scores in that game.
But it's close. I mean, I'll go. Do you know what? I'll go 3-1 Villa. I think Ipswich get a goal.
Okay. Fulham versus Nottingham Forest. That's a tough one because it's both two good sides, aren't they? Do you know what? I'm putting it out there. 1-1. I think it'll be a draw.
Oh, okay.
I think because both teams are so defensively minded as well, so they're very good in defence. So I think it'll be 1-1.
Oh, for me, I think. Do you know what? 2-2.
2-2. Okay, so we both predict as good draws, but okay.
Next game's big one actually. Man City versus Newcastle.
Ooh. See, I'm in a tough spot with this one because I don't like Man City. And I don't like Newcastle. It's something about their fan base. Is just, don't get me wrong, I think the fan base is actually, no, it's not the fan base talk. It's the players for me. I think I said this to you off recording. In terms of both Newcastle players and Arsenal players have the same personality, where I feel like they feel like they're entitled to win every game. In terms of, okay, yeah, we got the money, we can spend whatever. And I just don't like how Newcastle have become. I'm sure the fan base is lovely, but I've been told. But I'm going to say City win this one 2-1. I think it will be very close, but 2-1. 2-1 City.
Okay. Yeah, I do think City will win this game. It'll be close. I'll go 3-1. 3-1 City.
Okay. Now, big coast rivalry up next, isn't it? Southampton versus Bournemouth. It's a tough one. It's Ramsdale's old hunting ground, isn't it? He's played for both teams now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Could Bournemouth slip up against Southampton? Because Southampton have got a couple of decent players. 2-0 Bournemouth, I'm saying.
Yeah, for me personally, I do not see Bournemouth slipping up. Not yet, anyway.
No.
Like,
again, don't get me wrong. Everything's gonna slip up at some point, but I just can't see him slipping up at Southampton, where the morale must be desperately low in that dressing room. And with Ramsdale in goal, who's conceding left, right, and centre, I'd say 2-0 Bournemouth.
3-1 Bournemouth.
You reckon Southampton's going to go to goal? How kind?
Yeah, 1 goal. Next game is West Ham versus Brentford.
Brentford. Green Potter. Brentford haven't been on a good run of form after 1-1. I'm going to say 1-1.
I'll go 2-1 to West Ham.
I've just seen the next one to be able to talk about this one.
Yes, we do. Crystal Palace versus Everton. Ooh. I'm going to go 2-0 Crystal Palace.
Ooh. See, we've never really done well at Palace. Have we done well at Palace? I'd say at the minute, because we're sort of playing decent football, 1-11. I think it'll be. I do think it'll be a hard game, but I reckon we'll nick it 1-0.
Okay. Yeah, I've said mine. 2-0 to Crystal Palace. The next game's Sunday. We're going moving on to Sunday's games, and it is Liverpool versus Wolves. I mean, listen, I don't care what you say about the game yesterday. We're winning this one. 3-1 Liverpool.
Can I say the same scoreline as you?
Well, I said the same scoreline as for Brighton's game, so
I'd say 3-1 Liverpool as well. I would like to say 3-0 and you will get a clean sheet, but at the minute I think you are leaking in goals as well. So I'd say 3-1 Wolves as well.
Okay. Oh, I've just seen the next one. We're a big game.
Bottom table clash. Or relegation clash, shall we say, because near the bottom end of the table. 2-2 I'm going with. I think it'll sprout up 4 goals will be scored in that game.
I mean, I'll go. Do you know what? 2-2.
Okay, both 2-2. I like it. Now, Wednesday night?
The Liverpool game is on Wednesday. It's a double game week for us again.
Oh,
it's because of the fact that the Champions League games had to be put later due to the fact that we played Jews yesterday.
Right. 1-1. I'm saying draw.
It's kind of one of those games where you're looking for, if we can get a result against Wolves, we can get a result against Villa.
Yeah,
but it's not. Villa are a good side. They can easily.
I was going to say
beat you.
You've got 2 contrasting sides. The Wolves look down on morale. Villa, they've got a good. Well, they've got a good set of players and a good set of core players within them. So I'm saying 1-1.
1-0 Liverpool. I reckon we just nick it with 1 goal. I reckon Villa are going to apply a ton of pressure on us, but they're just not going to be able to get past the defence. And I do think our head coach is going to do hopefully a good job. Obviously, Slot will be in the stands watching this game. But yeah, I reckon if our head coach can do a good job, we might win. So yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, 1-1 for me.
Well, that's it for this episode. Liam and I look forward to this weekend's matches. So, can Liverpool get back to winning ways after their draw against Everton?
Can Everton get back to winning ways? We'll find out this weekend.
As always, we'll be dropping new episodes every Friday, so make sure you've subscribed on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, YouTube, on our website at theredandbluesocials.com, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Please also leave us a 5-star rating and follow us on social media to stay up to date. See you on Tuesday.
From me, Corey, up the Reds.
And from me, Liam, up the Toffees.